What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here.
Yes, I'm here.
And Jekalyn Carr is here. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
And first, let's give you your flowers and your congratulations. You know, I see you've had your 7th #1 song, and you have a new album out that was #1 also. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And you know, for you to have been doing this so long, I saw you did Taryn Hall, but that was your first time doing daytime television?
It was. It was my first time, and I was blown away. You know how like you can do what you do, you live in purpose and all of that, but you never really know the magnitude of how much people are touched. And so that was just one of those memorable moments for me, to really just experience the love from people everywhere and not just in the studio. It was just a beautiful experience.
Yeah, the audience is going.
Yes, the audience
I was like, wait a minute.
It was your fan club in the audience. Yeah. So that was a surprise for you.
It was. It was, yeah. Because you know how, too, sometimes daytime television audiences can be a little laid back because of the cameras and stuff, but they were like, even when the cameras were off, they were singing and they knew the words
to the song.
They were, like they were ready.
And Jekalyn, you've been doing this for so long. You could never even have thought about a different career. You know how normally you'll ask somebody, like, if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing? But there was nothing else.
Yeah. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. I knew from a very young age that this was my calling. This was what I was born to do. I started singing at the age of 5 years old. I was that little girl who was singing in the mirror. I would make choirs with my cousins and my siblings and sing into the grass. Like the grass was literally my crowd. I just knew this is what I wanted to do. I didn't know that it would be to this magnitude though. And so early. So it's just been a blessing. And
not shy at all. There was that documentary that you were on, and you were so young, and you kind of blew everybody away. Because I think it's hard. Well, maybe it's easier when you're younger to have confidence because you don't know what to be scared of yet. I don't know.
I think my confidence kind of came from, well, not kind of, I know for sure it came from my parents, like instilling the right values in me. Like before the world knew who I was, they were very strong about knowing who you are and being confident in that, because at the end of the day, we all know you get different opinions. You get, you should do this, you should do that.
And you start listening.
You know what I'm saying?
Changing your mind about what you know.
And I was just like, if I had listened to every single opinion, I would not be where I am right now. And so my confidence really, it came from that, and it plays a huge part in who I am today.
Did you know that, when you were younger, you knew that you probably wanted to be an artist, but did you know you would dabble in other things because you have acting, you have this beauty line? Did you know that you would be doing other things, or you just thought, I'm just going to stick to music?
No, I felt like as a little girl I was going to be doing something with television.
Okay.
I didn't know I was going to be doing radio, and I also didn't know that I would be speaking.
Okay.
You have the voice, by the way. You have the voice. It kind of feels like
Speaking
that voice is
good,
made for. She got that voice where you could tell somebody could sing just by the way that they talk.
She does. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You can tell we can't sing by the way we talk.
I'm tickled. Yes, like those are the only things I didn't know I would do. However, it was actually my speaking that really opened the door for everything else that you see me doing. It was like the foundation, even though I started singing first.
And you did praise this, and we actually watched that movie together,
we did,
me and Jasmine.
We did, yeah.
How was that?
Cute.
I didn't even.
It was cute.
Yeah, how was that for you? That first of all, a perfect movie for you to be in.
Thank you.
And I saw you said previously that it was like family being there.
Yeah. So Praise This was so good. It was so, clearly based off of the cast, you know that we didn't have a dull moment. Like it was so much fun and laughter. It was, it reminded me of Sister Act.
Okay.
Just a modern day Sister Act. And then also, I take what I do very seriously, so a lot of people don't really get a chance to see my personality.
Okay.
I felt like the movie was a way for people to see the Jekalyn without the microphone in front of her, without being on the podium or whatever. I love to laugh and have a good time, and you can do it in a positive way. So I feel like that's what the movie really showed.
Was any of that real to you? Like, because I know that comes from like existing battles and competitions.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced any of that in real life and been able to?
Honestly, my parents never really they never put me in like competitions and stuff.
Oh, because that would have been good.
They never put me, I don't know. I ain't questioning it because
not when it comes to me. Well, let me ask you this: is it really competitive in terms of the gospel world? Gospel music, is it competitive or no?
I've heard that it can be. Honestly, I don't look at anybody as a competition because, I know who I am. I know what I can do and this and that and the third, and I want everybody to win. I'm one of those type of people because we're on the same team. So I want you to soar.
Team Jesus?
Team Jesus. And I feel like, we reach who we're supposed to reach, despite what your style is, how long you've been doing it for. There's always, you have some people that maybe a legend, someone who been out here 40 years didn't reach, but somebody who just came out, they can reach. So I feel like the ultimate goal is reaching people, and I just want everybody to thrive. So no one is competition.
And this is your 6th album, and so it's the self-titled album, Jekalyn. Do you feel like you were giving more of yourself? I know you took 4 years since you put out a full-length album. Okay, so what about this album do you feel like has made it more personal? It's very uplifting.
Yeah. Oh, too. Thank you. The 4 years was definitely needed, simply because I was able to really see what direction I wanted to go in with this album, and I didn't want to take the 100% traditional route that I normally would.
And you did not.
Thank you, with my sound and all of that. And I had to realize there's so much more in me, and I also had to be okay with embracing that, not allowing myself, what I've done, or even others to hold me to what I've already put out. And also, I wanted to name it Jekalyn because I just feel like it's my story. It's my life. These are conversations that I've had with God, He's had with me, and I wanted it also to be a way I package it so that it can be relatable to everybody.
You had a little dance hall vibe on there.
We
took it to Jamaica a little bit.
Like that.
Where did you come up with that one? Were you like on a vacation? What was the vibe?
I was actually laying in bed, and I was like, I had took my melatonin, and I'm like, I'm finna go to sleep.
Wait a minute.
And
not in Jesus' name.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, I just started hearing the lyrics actually came to me first. Okay. And then I'm like, I want this to be, because I actually had a different style at first with the same lyrics, but I'm like, I need something different. And I'm like, let me try the Jamaican vibes or whatever.
The accent.
And I go on. And I wanted to yes, chat a little bit.
Angela and I were listening to the album today, and as soon as that came on, Angela's like, okay, this is
the vibe.
Yeah. My favorite song is The Living Word. That's my favorite song. Can you talk about, we're talking about the track list. What was the, did you get any pushback on any of these? Like, were there any songs that were kind of a challenge for you to put out, or were any ones that you were particularly apprehensive about doing? Or
honestly, probably Living Word. Maybe I was a little like, maybe should this go to album or not? But I haven't gotten any, like, it's literally been all love. Okay. People were very receptive because I had already prepared them anyway beforehand. Like, there's gonna be a couple of songs on here that's not gonna sound like.
Don't make me wait another 4 years.
Right.
It's not gonna sound like the normal Jekalyn you're used to. However, I did make a promise that I would keep the substance, because I'm very big on lyrics. Okay. Because I feel like lyrics with substance can take your song a long way. And so that's what I wanted to do, even with Living Word. That's probably one of my most favorites too on the album.
I like that one.
Plus, you're more grown now too. I mean, 4 years.
Yeah.
Is, you're still very young though.
Yeah,
so even when you first started, your father headed up the label that you signed to. So did he already have a label, or did he create this because he's like, okay, I got to be very involved in my daughter's career?
Yeah, he created it, actually. I tell people all the time, I can't tell the story without him, but, I'm going to do my best. I would hear him say, a lot, because my dad is a go-getter. And, he just believed in his daughter. And he got a lot of no's from a lot of record labels because, according to him, they weren't signing a little people, little girls
people.
and stuff like that, or taking them serious enough to put that real good push behind them. And so with that being said, my father was like, listen, he believed in me enough to do what he had to do, created the label, and not just create, because anybody can have a label, anybody can be a manager. It's about you going out here, seeing what you need to do to make the dream work, and that's what he did.
So the family had to make a lot of sacrifices in order for this to happen?
Like, maybe I'll put it in a book one day. It's my family. So a lot of my songs, they literally come from my family experiences. My breakout song was just Greater Is Coming. It talks about the shaking, the beating, and the pressing. And my family, we went through the shaking, the beating, and the pressing. A lot of things that we had to experience. And, even with my father coming off of his job so that he could travel with me and all of that. So just imagine that. And I wasn't where I am today then. So it was a lot of sacrifices, a lot of praying, a lot of fasting, and just believing God. But at the end of the day, we stuck together.
That's where you will win. That whole mentality comes from too.
Yes, absolutely. Because, and even with the songs, like I had to realize early on what I felt like my assignment was, and a lot of it was attached to my family's experiences. We had to push through a lot. We had to fight through a lot. But at the end of the day, we knew we were going to win. We didn't know how, but we knew we were going to win. Exactly.
What were some of the, like you talk about, because clearly, like you said, you weren't where you are now back then, but what are some things that you can remember being like, ooh, this got to happen, like we got to win? Were there time, just give us an example of a time that was particularly tough.
Well, I just want to say, y'all getting exclusive, because I've never really been even a little detailed about it. Like, there were times where, we were trying to figure out how we were going to eat. Times where we had to be literally in the house, and I'm not talking about outside, in the house, cold in the winter, hot in the summer. We it's just a lot that we had to experience, and being in that, I'll never forget. I was laying in the bed, and my siblings and I, we were laying, and I'm just like, God, I know we deserve so much better than this, because imagine putting your faith to work, believing God, but it looks like nothing is happening. However, God is just like, just stick with me.
Right.
And I'm going to show you. It's about to pay off. And it did.
I feel like that's a lot of pressure, though, right?
I mean, yeah, anybody who going through.
No, I mean, in terms of you being the star of the family and the talent of I'm sure everyone else has other talents, but you have this career. So I would feel like that would be a lot of pressure, no?
Well, it really wasn't pressure for me, simply because my family, I guess because of the dynamics of our relationship, and everybody knows that, first of all, even though you see me out front, but if it wasn't for my dad and my mom's sacrifices, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't see me today. And then, of course, my sister, she helps my dad with the administration and all of that. So we all worked. It's literally a family corporation built from scratch. We worked together to make the dream work. So we didn't have, that was also another thing, like coming out. We didn't have the major record labels and to make it easy for us. So a lot of stuff he had to figure out, and just, I remember it's a lot coming back to me. Like, my father, we would try, at this time we were staying in Arkansas, we would travel all the way to Florida, driving like hours and hours, not even knowing whether or not they were going to allow me to sing and just all of that. Ooh. So yeah, it was.
He probably didn't even tell you all the time.
Yes, oh no.
He's like, all right, let's go do this.
Yeah.
I can't tell her this may not happen.
Yeah,
right.
But it was just a father who believed in his child, and that's why I encourage parents and guardians or whoever. A child can only do so much. Don't let anybody fault you or blame you for believing in your child enough to cultivate their gifts and to push them and make, because at the end of the day, it's your responsibility, you know what I mean, to make sure your child gets to where they need to be. And I'm a living witness. Do it the healthy way.
Right. Because we look at like Serena and Venus, and people talk about that story. And then I was watching Steph Curry's documentary, and, parents, and some people will question like parents pushing you, and this is what the child wants. But you're right. Like, you're right where you're supposed to be. And you love it. And he was supportive. And I know that financial difficulties can really weigh on a family and sometimes tear a family apart too.
Yes.
So I can't even imagine what that must have been like for you. Yeah. And it's also probably not easy as a gospel artist to get signed to a major label, right? Because I think that, there's some that we know really, really well, but I feel like it's more of a struggle for people to feel like, okay, how are we going to monetize this, at a label? Are the labels trying to come now and be like, okay, let's get you down with us?
Yes. Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, they are. But I will say this: we've done distribution through other labels, but we own all of our publishing. We all of our writing is in house. I mean, like every single thing. And the thing about it is, we don't mind working with other people. My dad is just like, "What can you do for her?
Right,
that she ain't already done."
I know that's right.
But yeah, they are. And then to answer your question, even about being hard. For artists being signed and stuff, I think then it was a little harder. Now they're really searching out. They're a little bit more forgiving and this and that, and a little bit more open. Put it like that.
Right. No, that's great. Now we got to get into this. So I see you got your man. Y'all still everything or?
Oh, listen, I'm single until.
Okay, because I saw your conversation in the DMs, Oh,
that was old.
That's old.
Yeah,
okay,
that's old.
So that's over.
Yeah, it's over.
Okay, sorry.
What are we looking for in a new, love or man or relationship or friendship with a man? What's the ideal guy look
and
like?
Do you
for
ever say, God, please bring me somebody? Because
my biggest prayer right now is I just want somebody who has the capacity for me.
Okay.
And I have the capacity for them.
Okay.
I want my person. And even though I may be young, I'm definitely settled. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. I know what I can tolerate and what I can't. And that's just where I am. And I'm willing
and we
to
like
be
that
patient.
type of pressure.
Yes. I am willing to be patient until it happens.
And how is it with your parents and you having to be like, I'm dating this person, or I want you to meet them? Do you do that? Are they overly protective? I know.
Actually,
I'm sure they trust your judgment.
Yeah, they do, and they say that all the time. Like we know what we put in you,
right? We trust you.
Exactly. But they've walked this journey through me. I mean, through with me. So yeah.
Are you an evangelist too, or did I make that up?
No, you didn't. Make
okay.
It up,
So what is that? Does that mean you preach or you speak something, or like what? Explain what that means.
I preach.
You preach. Okay.
I preach the word of the Lord.
You can see it online. It's powerful. It does seem like something takes over you too when you're up on that pulpit.
Yeah, I've been in a zone because I take, like I said, what I do very seriously, and I feel like God would never send me anywhere where what's in me is not needed, and so I just try to make sure that the Holy Spirit guide me and give me what I need for each assignment that I have.
Okay.
Imagine being at this age and you've done so many things that I feel like I need to work a little harder.
I feel lazy.
Yeah, because you also had, like, I was talking about the You Will Win, and that was a conference you had that you brought it back also. So is this now back to being an annual event?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, we are back and popping. Like, we, of course, stopped because of the pandemic. Our last stop before the pandemic was Orlando. This year we started back in Atlanta, and it was amazing. And so, yeah, we're rolling.
Well, if you have sinners there to get talking panels and stuff, Angela and I are sinners. We're not so much a saints.
The thing about it
is, sinners and winners.
I am typical.
If you need any sinners, you know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing about with my conference. It's literally for everyone.
Yeah, we're the secular side.
I am tickled. Yes, I mean, it's for everybody, for everyone, because we all have different walks of life and all of that. And the ultimate goal is to make sure you learn how to win in every area of your life. You have some people who have the spiritual, but they don't have the natural, and we want to make sure that there's a well balance there so you can be well rounded. So we may, call you for next year.
Okay, I believe in winning.
Yeah, period.
And you also got the Lifetime Achievement Award from the president. So what was that like for you?
It was unexpected. It was of course, humbling. Like I said, just you never really know the magnitude, the full magnitude of how far your reach is or how important you are to people. And so that was just, a confirmation to me of how much people really take to Jekalyn and my ministry, my music, and all that good stuff. And I'm very appreciative of my supporters and all of that. So it was great.
Now, when you decided it was time to put Jekalyn out after you kept people waiting, but what was it that made you say this is the time?
I felt it. Whereas when I was, so I'm always writing. Like even now, there's songs that has come to me. However, I have to feel it. And each season of my life, each year of my life doesn't look the same. Like last year, basically half of the year, I was filming Praise This. So it was impossible for me to try to, get all that, go into the studio and work on rehearsals and all of that. And then the year before that, it was something different. Year before, so it's just like, I knew that it was time because I felt it, and it was easy, a smooth transition.
It feels good though, doesn't it?
It does. It's finally out, you guys. Like,
celebration. Cue up Kirk Franklin.
I know, right?
I see what you did there.
No, we love Kirk Franklin up here.
Yeah, we do.
But you know what I think is great about him in particular is because he is so open about his being a human being. I think sometimes we try to show the perfection and not show all of the flaws of things that have happened, the struggles. We get to see him like meeting his dad and his issues with his son and family things, and him talking about, his relationship. That's not an easy thing.
It's not.
Because there's a lot of judgment too. And I feel like, especially when there's expectations for you, for him being like gospel and for you also, people have these expectations. And sometimes it is hard to just say, I'm human, I mess up.
Yeah. I think we have to understand, despite your title or how big of a person is when it comes to caliber, we're all human. There's no perfect journey. There's no perfect person. We all fail. We all mess up. We get back up. We keep pushing, keep fighting, just like anyone else would. And I think now most people are starting to understand that, because at the end of the day, like I said, we are human. Right. Everybody, there's a song on my album called Mercy. We all need mercy.
Right.
None of us are above it. And then even with life's challenges, none of us can escape life challenges. There's things that we experience as artists and people on the front line that we didn't even know we were going to experience, and we just have to figure out the struggle. Sometimes it's like trying to work through it privately. You know what I mean? But when you got your good, strong support system, it helps a lot too at the same time.
When you're performing, what song makes you the most emotional? Because it brings you to a place where you're like, oh, I remember when I wrote this, what I was dealing with and talking about and trying to overcome.
Probably Greater Is Coming.
Okay.
Yeah, that was that.
I feel like that's the name of the movie.
It may be. So
not that you don't need another thing to do.
No. It's literally something. But Greater Is Coming is my favorite song that I sing, that I've ever put out. Because, like I said, it's my family story wrapped up in 5 minutes or however long the song is. And it just always helped me to understand how so many times, even in the moment when you're going through, you don't, it's hard for you to see beyond that.
Yes.
Always.
Especially when you're doing the right thing, you got the right ingredients and everything together, but it's like this cake ain't coming out right. Like what's happening? But then when you just be patient, and you just know that God is not going to leave you. It's just a different type of confidence that you have. So Greater Is Coming, it will always be that song for me. And people still to this day request that song like it's a fresh song.
I feel like there is something on the verge that you're going to announce soon of this book, this movie, or something. Have you been working on it already?
I have, yes.
See, there we go.
What have you been working on? A book or a movie?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Because it kind of goes hand in hand. Once you write your story,
Yeah.
You are so mature, I feel like.
You done got a Lifetime Achievement Award when you're 26?
Yeah, like I feel like we need to work hard.
Nerve.
Have you always been, I know the nerve of her. Have have you always been this mature? Like, have you?
I've heard it since I was a little girl. Like, it was so
5 years
funny.
old.
Yes,
Like, I just want to.
I'm tickled, and it'd be so funny because I'd be 5 and people like, oh my gosh, I thought you were 10. No, ma'am. No, sir.
I thought you was 10. You're so
You
grown.
know, but the older I got, you know, I understood what they were talking about. Old soul, yeah.
No, but with Greater is Coming, I was thinking about this conference I was just at, and one of the men speaking, he just raised like $150 million for his business, but it took him a super long time to get there. And he was talking about one of his biggest issues when he was trying to get to the point where he knew he had everything he needed, like you said, all the right ingredients, and he was like, what is wrong with me? Like, am I not good enough?
Yeah.
And so it's just the struggle of like getting to that point. And I think that can be applied to so many different things in life.
Yeah.
You feel like you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You've got everything in order, you know.
And it doesn't help when you're getting a lot of no's and you're like doors are being
He
shut
said he got
in your
326 no's.
face. You know,
First of
and
all,
it's
you
like,
count.
wait a
The
minute.
mere fact he was counting.
Is it me?
326 no's.
I stopped counting
Yeah.
at 15.
But
probably.
that's where it goes back to when I was talking about that confidence. You know, a lot of times your confidence can be challenged, but when you know who you are, it makes it a little bit easier for you, because even with the no's that we got, we still knew, you know, greatness, when it's on you, it's on you. When it's in you,
God.
You are anointed,
exactly.
you are anointed.
And we had to realize that in his timing, he was going to put me where he wanted me to be and exactly where I needed to be so that I could thrive in life.
And what was the moment when you were like, here we are, we up?
There were so many moments.
But the first one, when it was like...
Probably when I got my first Grammy nomination.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, I'm going to say the first Grammy nomination, and I'm also going to say when I won my first Stellar Award.
Okay.
It was so funny because I didn't even know how I won. I was in Nashville
Booked and busy.
in the hotel there because we didn't know anything about all of that.
Right.
We didn't know anything.
I
Going
was
into
just
this, we
working.
didn't know about the charts. We didn't know anything.
Right.
And so I was sitting in my hotel room, and we ended up, I can't remember if it was a tweet first or if it was a phone call first, and someone saying basically that I had won. It was like, oh, we missed the show.
Should have been at that one.
Yeah.
So it's all about God's timing.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Would you do more acting, or do you
Of
have
course.
things? Okay, so do you have
Absolutely.
things lined up?
There's some things we're sifting through. So,
Sifting through.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's something that I love. Like I love acting. Like I said, I always knew that I would do something with television in the right timing. It's just about making sure that it's the right things for me.
Okay. What kind of role would you be interested in?
I'm a big Hallmark girl, so I wouldn't mind doing
okay.
like a Hallmark movie, something like that. It really doesn't matter. Like I said, just as long as it fits me and I don't have to compromise.
Are the holidays your favorite time of the year?
It is. Like
That
to
reminds me
walk
of
into the
Hallmark.
cold
Christmas
weather.
song last
I'm
year.
waiting. I'm like, when is this cold weather gonna come in? Because right now it's giving confusion.
Yeah, global warming. We had the hottest
yes.
October on record this
Right.
year.
Listen, but I love it. This is also the time where I really get a chance to go back home and spend time with my family, and because I'm a big family girl. So yeah, I really love it.
How did first of all, I love your name, Jekalyn.
Thank you.
How did they come up with? I've never met another Jekalyn.
Well, to this day, my mom and dad argues about
Who was responsible for it?
who was responsible for it. So we don't know.
Made it up though?
My mom said she did. My dad said my mom said the Holy Spirit told her. So we ain't gonna argue with the Holy Spirit.
You can't argue with the Holy Spirit.
Maybe the Holy
Right.
Spirit told both of them.
Yeah,
And then
Possible. That's
Give
It's
us
a
all
possible.
possibility. Yeah, I said y'all mustn't hear him for my middle name, but
What's your middle name?
Al Monique.
Well, my middle name is Monique.
Okay,
Al
I feel
Monique?
like
Al
the
Monique.
Al kind of, but she was trying to connect it with my dad because he's Alan.
Oh,
Okay.
Al Monique. Because I thought it was like, let me hear you say Al. Okay, but Al Monique. Okay.
It's an old school term.
Sorry, I'm not 26.
I wonder if people are going to name their kids Jekalyn now.
You know what?
Probably.
I run into a lot of mothers. They'll bring their baby to me and they'll say, "Here's my daughter. Her name is Jekalyn."
Aw,
Like,
that's
it's
sweet.
So cute. Yes. Mhm.
All right, Well, shout out to all the young Jakalyns
I
out
know,
there.
right?
Destined for greatness. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much, Jekalyn, and congratulations. Jekalyn is available right now. So make sure you support and get ready for Greater is Coming, the book, the movie.
Yes.
And make sure you
made it up.
It's you already naming it for me. Go ahead then.
She's good at branding and naming things. And make sure you listen to my favorite song to hear the living word.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, congratulations again. And thank you so much for taking time to stop by and see us. We needed you.
You're welcome. Thank
We
you for
needed your
having
essence
me.
in the room.
We need some holiness up in here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.